Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb podcast. My name is Chris. I am your host, and today on the podcast, we have all of the members of Loserfur. That's spelled Loserfur, and put an underscore at the end if you want to reach them on Instagram. We got Chocolate Mike, we got Will, and we got Mikey P. And they're here to talk about River Madness, which is going to be their first release that'll be coming out real soon. Actually, we have a track off of that they were gracious enough to give us. It's an exclusive. It is called Bat Ass. What? No, I didn't say badass. I said bat ass. And you're wondering like, badass. Okay. Well, you're going to hear about why in the interview. You're also going to hear a little bit about the recording process and such some general weirdness. We go off talking about food, about music, absolutely, about gear, about movies. It just goes all over the place. I got to say, I had a really great time interviewing these guys. They were just a whole bunch of fun. We did this one on location at the Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona. Always a great place. Shout out to Ben and shout out to everybody at Yucca Tap Room for just making every time just a great experience. Just a great bunch of people. So thanks a lot to them. And just one other thing about the recording process. Olibanum Audio is a portable studio that has been started up by Jeff Owens of Goya. So if you're in the Phoenix area and surrounding areas, he can come to you for a really great price. He brings his equipment and he will take care of all your stuff. So reach out to him on social media. You know where to find him. And he also has a record label called Opoponax. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Opoponax. And they have all the Goya merch, especially some brand new merch, which is a 7-inch called No Easy Ride from Goya. And there is some very unique colors and all kinds of great stuff. So check them out. You won't be disappointed. They have the whole Goya catalog. Have something also from a band, Aneurysm. So there's a lot to see. And I think we got all that stuff out of the way. So I think it's time to get into the interview with Loserfur with Chocolate Mike, Will, and Mikey P. Let's hear it right now. Sheets because sometimes I just roll through the questions.
Drink enough coffee today.
Enough coffee. What's your...
I have a yerba mate personally. Chocolate, do you have any caffeine preference?
I drank 2 coffees this morning. It was jittery as fuck all day. That's about it.
What's the coffee of choice?
Mikey is the coffee boy.
Yeah, I go through the drive-thru at Bikini Beans because I'm a pervert, and they offer to not cut my cold brew, so there's like no water in it. It's all just concentrate.
Whoa!
And without it, I get gnarly headaches for days on end. So I have to drink like 1 or 2 of those a day.
Have you ever tried Death Wish?
Yes, I have.
And?
I've had a bag of Death Wish before, and it gets me fucking juiced. It's great. It's the good
It's
shit.
still
It's
my
the
favorite
strongest
coffee. It's supposedly it's the most caffeinated coffee around.
It even isn't it like
It is 4 or 5 hour energy
not
on
even
top
coffee?
of it.
Isn't like they're like the bean that it is like a different sort of bean or something? It's like its own fucking tweaker product. I don't even know, but yeah, no, it gets you juiced. I'll work a 13-hour day, no problem.
Oh God! All right,
French
so
press.
let's see, guys. We are at the Yucca Tap Room right now. I consider this non-location interview, and I am with the band Loserfur, and we do need to spell that to make sure that everyone can find you on social media.
So it's Loser, loser, and then Fur. Loserfur.
And I think that we should start by going to each of you, because I have all the band members here, and just say who you are and what you play.
My name's Will. I play bass in our band.
My name's Mike. Everyone calls me Chocolate, though, and I play guitar.
My name is also Mike, and I play drums in the band.
All right, and 2 quick questions is, first, how long have you been a band, and how'd you get started?
We've been playing for Well, our original lineup, it just started out as me and a drummer, just me on guitar and a drummer. And then we played our first show on New Year's last year with just that. And then I've known Will for a while.
Yeah, I've known Chocolate for a few years now, and like we've jammed, on and off for a little bit. But I saw Loserfur play with just Trevor and Chocolate at that party that we're at, and I thought it was super rad. And they just needed a bass player, and they just needed a little bit of rounding out on stuff. And like I thought it'd be perfect. And as soon as we started jamming, things really kind of solidified as far as like what we were trying to accomplish.
Y'all had the same goals. And the same...
Yeah, no, that's what we found out pretty quickly, is like we kind of had the same ideas for like what we wanted to do with, the type of music that we played.
Yeah, and then we started talking about possibly recording or whatever, and the other drummer bailed, but before he bailed,
Yeah, shout out to Trevor Rice real quick. That guy's, he's a super
great.
Good homie.
If you ever get to see the early grabs, he's behind the kit and he fucking kills it.
Awesome skate punk band from here in Phoenix. There's lots of really good ones, but they're sick.
Yeah. So you've been a band for how long now?
I guess a year now.
A year now? Yep.
With the core, with me and Chocolate playing together, it's been about a year now.
And it sounds like you guys have come really miles in a year, because there's people that tool around for years before they even think of coming out with a release. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys are coming out with a release this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have one coming out soon. It was, like I said, we had the same ideas, and we had when I heard them play, I instantly was able to be like, I want to play for that kind of band, and like that's the kind of stuff I want to do. And I think Chocolate was excited at the time because he, they wanted a bass player obviously, and he's ready to get things going too.
Yeah.
So, what would you classify your music as?
Shit, it's up there, dude. I think it's just, dude, we just like to rage, man. Like literally, it's literally what it is. Like we get up on stage and we want to see people like wow out,
Yeah, we have such a good time when we're up there doing it. We just want to watch other people have a good time. So I guess like as far as like what we sound like, I guess it's kind of stoner metal. We definitely don't have the long songs like stoner metal bands tend to have.
Right.
We like to keep things moving in our songs, and that's definitely something that we're conscious of in our songwriting.
I mean, with us, like short and sweet is the best way.
Right.
Like we don't need to have like a 12-minute song, even though I love those.
Mm-hmm.
They're great, and I love to just not have to worry about what's coming on next.
Yeah. We feel like we know when the riff is over, and that's something that like some bands that I really like, sometimes it's like I love the riff, but it's like, do you have to smash on it for 5 minutes straight?
And what bands are you referring to that you liked and you're like, if they?
Obviously, since we don't have a singer, we get a lot of inspiration from Earthless.
Okay.
Which I love, but at the same time, it's like, we're doing this because we like it and we totally feel it.
Right.
And we don't want to put too much into it than we need to.
So why are you choosing not to have a vocalist?
It just kind of happened. Like we talked about finding somebody for a while, for the first few months, like probably for like the first 8 months. We'd play shows and people would be like, that's really cool, but where's the vocalist, and like where are y'all's vocals and stuff. And I don't know, we just never really put that much effort into trying to find somebody who can add vocals to our tunes,
right.
Because we're yeah.
That's okay. That's all right.
It's all right.
Just a fan.
Yeah.
Just a fan coming up. No big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that we didn't spend a lot of time on, and at this point, I think we're happy with how everything sounds, and
right.
We don't necessarily think we need one at this point.
Yeah, and also like the way the riffs are set up and the way the songs are structured, it's more or less just for people to enjoy and just take it how they feel, rather than be coerced into hearing someone that maybe isn't that good at vocals or something,
True.
Us having to track someone down that is good, I think us three as a collective work very well together in doing what we do.
Right.
So.
And I've seen that on some of the like stoner forums or what have you, there's a lot of questions being asked, and one of the questions is, well, I'm looking for this type of music without the growly vocal, or I'm looking for it with that, or whatever. And I know there's something for everyone.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, I must admit, most of the bands that I find myself most drawn to don't have a heavy vocal presence.
Right.
And I feel like that might be a part of it. But, like most of the bands that I've ever been in haven't really focused on vocals for more than like a small part as like kind of like a tool to add. But, I feel like it's not something that we need to necessarily add to this thing.
If I could go to each of you, what are your major influences?
I got so many. Mainly Hendrix and Sabbath, but I listen to a lot of like underground rock, like Dark, Shinky Chen, things like that. I come from a blues background, so
right.
I put a lot of that into like, even though we're doing like sort of metal stuff, I try to incorporate that every time.
That seems like an important part of the genre, though.
Oh, for sure. I think that's what adds a little bit of flavor to what we do, is all of our different stuff, because like Mikey is into like a lot of different stuff than what we're into, such as.
And Mikey the drummer, what are you into?
First thing that came off my head is MC8.
Yeah,
that's the first thing.
Kick out the jams.
Oh no, that's the MC5.
MC5.
MC8 is some gangster rap from Southern California. He was actually in the movie Menace to Society.
Oh yeah.
I forget his name, but
what? So that's something that you would listen to.
I grew up just listening to West Coast rap. I'm from California originally. I've lived here for like 20 years, but living in California, I listen to like a lot of rap, and I like the gangster stuff because it's heavy, it's aggressive. They talk about robbing people, murder, firearms, and all those things excite me when I'm not on the terrible side of them.
And it's a story. It's like watching a horror movie or watching a violent film.
It's all storytelling.
Yeah.
If all those dudes were robbing banks and shit like they said they were, they wouldn't be putting out albums.
Right.
Of course.
Do you,
I guess that's
do you,
kind of true.
Yeah, some of them have problems.
Some of them are in jail now.
Do you listen to any of the underground hip hop, or what would be more like independent hip hop?
Some of it, most of it, I feel like isn't worth it. But I also like, for whatever reason, gangster rap is sacred to me.
Right.
And just rap in general. I don't even like to call it hip hop. I like rap, underground hip hop and stuff. Some of it's cool. I appreciate what a lot of people are trying to do, especially when motherfuckers be woke and shit. But
word.
It doesn't hit as hard as the OG shit, and that's what I like.
Right. So if you could, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you could give me a top 3 or top 5, something that's you gotta listen to at least once a week, once a month, whatever.
Oh, just anything spanning any genre?
Or let's go with hip hop first.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
Yeah.
I've got "Creeping on a Come Up" by Bone Thugs and Harmony in my CD player right now.
Right.
That's one of my favorites. That's from like 1990 or 1991.
Okay.
And they sing about everything I want to hear on that album.
Have you ever seen them live?
No, I've never seen them live. I'm
Okay.
sure it's atrocious. There's a lot of rap acts and hip hop acts out there that are awful live. I know there are a couple exceptions, like the Roots. They put on a crazy show.
Right.
I mean, they're all insanely talented. All of them are players. They all do their thing, and they fucking shut it down. I've never seen a tuba solo in my life, and I never thought I would enjoy a tuba solo. But the Roots fucking kill it, dude.
Who else? Or is that
in
would that be the
hip-hop?
Yeah.
Who else do I enjoy? I enjoy MC8. I mean, I enjoyed Tupac a lot. Snoop, Dre. Just really like the whole death row.
A classic like Cali hip hop.
Like Murder Was the Case. and
Yeah, that stuff. And
Natural
also,
Born Killers.
I really like a lot of Bay Area stuff. I like RBL Posse. That's another one. Those guys were fucking. That shit scared me when I was a little kid, and I heard it, and that's what I liked about it.
I didn't know that's the stuff you were into when you were young. That's cool.
Yeah, RBL Posse, Nate Dogg, all that stuff.
Do you listen to hip hop as well?
I don't, and I got it somewhat blamed where I grew up. I grew up in a town called Vestavia Hills, Alabama, and I didn't really, I wasn't exposed to a lot of hip hop. My dad was a Deadhead who used to follow them around and stuff. So like,
Right.
up until I was old enough to put on music by myself, it was just the Grateful Dead being played at my place and stuff. And I enjoyed it. That's like the stuff I learned how to play growing up and stuff. But like, the first CD I bought when I was a kid was Kiss Destroyer.
Now we're talking Flaming Youth.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That stuff was
King of the Nighttime World too.
oh man, yeah, dude, Ace kills it on that one.
So now, do you draw from like you heard the Dead growing up? I've heard on some of the podcasts where they say parents have influenced the future music that you create. Do you feel anything comes through with the Dead? Or
not as much as the Dead,
okay.
Honestly, because like I do somewhat enjoy listening to that still, but
I guess maybe the jammy style.
yeah, because I mean we do jam out
right?
a lot, and but like as far as like stuff that I still listen to today, that definitely doesn't have any sort of ground. And I mean, yeah, I listen to a lot of classic rock still and stuff like that, but like when I think of like stuff that like made me enjoy music growing up, it comes back to more bands like Hella and bands like I don't even like Giraffes. I was really into like technical proficiency for a long time growing up, and like
a tech metal or
yeah, even like technical metal stuff like that too. But like growing up, like the first bands outside of like classic rock, like I said, Hella is my most favorite band of all time, and they're just like that's the first band I listened to that was like, oh, I didn't know music didn't have to sound a certain way, like it can sound however you want it to, and it can be
vocals for a really long time.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that's another band that always drew me in because they didn't necessarily need vocals to get their point or musical ideas across, but like the albums that do have vocals on are still really good and some of my favorite. But like
they're all incredible players. I mean, they don't need the vocals at all. All of the musicianship is so entertaining and brilliant that it carries itself. I mean, you have Zach Hill as a drummer, and he's like more than filling every crack.
Right.
Stuff where maybe you think there'd be a vocal line or something, and there's something else there for you that can kind of
feed that.
Yeah.
and
it's on the same line with it.
yeah,
I mean, when you play music to, I don't know, I notice a lot of people, again, lyrics and vocals are very accessible. I mean, that's what sells records most of the time.
right? You don't see a lot,
But a lot of people
good
that
call.
don't actually play music might, a lot of the time, are not into instrumental music or can't grasp these odd time signatures where, I might have an advanced ear from playing for a certain amount of time, playing
Right.
the actual music. I mean, Will plays several instruments and whatnot, so I'm sure his brain's going nuts processing all of it, and that's entertaining enough.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You don't see a lot of instrumental top 40 music.
no,
it's
absolutely.
very
I mean,
rare.
what was the last band that probably did it? Fucking
Shit, what's that fucking Christmas band? They fucking
Oh, Trans-Siberian.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, they probably got one, and
Yeah,
like
they're
Explosions in the
fucking-
Sky when they had the Friday Night Light shit when they were doing that, like
That one, I remember when I was growing up, it was Herbie Hancock had Rocket, and there was a guy named Paul Hardcastle, and he did a song called 19.
Fucking dude. Link Ray.
Link Ray.
oh yeah, even
Ray
some of that old
is
guitar stuff.
fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal, and he lost a lung, so he couldn't sing anymore.
Right.
So then he made shit like Rumble, which is in like Pulp Fiction and shit like
Right.
that. And I take a lot of inspiration from that dude. That's fucking sick,
Well, there's got to be a definite market for it. I mean, I see Dick Dale still touring around, and he does really well. And it's not like those are empty houses; they're packed. So somebody's clamoring for this style, and I'm really glad that you guys are a part of it. Mike, what did you have a hip hop?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, so many, dude. I fucking love old Ice Cube.
Right,
That
like
shit fucking
Death
gets
Certificate
me.
or further, like NWA.
Oh, dude, I'm talking like Murder
Injection.
Was the Case, fucking No Vaseline.
I was just gonna say
fuck
that.
with all that. I mean, I also love like old Mac Dre.
Right.
Like really early Mac Dre. I like the Bay Area stuff a lot. Dude, Andre Nicotina, also known as Dre Dog, always. Dude, Tale of Two Andres
Tale
is
of
great.
Two Andres, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I love all rap. The newer stuff is a little much for me, just because I feel like it's losing a lot of the feeling.
Right.
When I used to listen to old rap and things like that, it had a lot more soul in it, and now I just feel like it's all about making money and like selling coke.
Are we collective selling coke?
It's like,
Are we collectively tired of autotune right now? Can we fucking just abolish that or autotune? I'm so tired of hearing that in rap. Like
Yeah.
you spit the rhyme, like
I don't even listen to enough hip hop to know that. I mean, the hip hop that I do listen, I like Death Grips, which is another Zach Hill thing,
Right.
obviously. But like, I don't know. I guess I feel like cheating as a musician is starting to go out of style. Like having more natural musicianship and, instrumentation and stuff is starting to come back. I feel like a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit at a time, but like some of my favorite songs I've heard recently of like the hip hop and electronic stuff have an element of natural musicianship to them, which I really enjoy because, for someone like me who listens to stuff like that, it's cool to know that it wasn't just like, kind of programmed in, and it's actually like part of the, of the sound, the musicianship of it. And I don't know if I'm wrong in saying that. I don't listen to enough hip hop to really make a definite claim.
Dude, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, one of my favorite rappers is Ghostface Killah.
Yeah.
And he actually, there's a song he has called Big Girl, and it's my favorite song. But he actually raps over an entire doo-wop song. Without taking the vocals out or anything. He just lets loose, and it's fucking amazing. I was like, you don't really hear people do shit like that and be unique like that.
Right.
But also, it's good to see rappers have like a whole band behind them, or even an orchestra.
Yeah, like Deltron 3030 still has a full band behind him, and them there's a couple of them I'm not too familiar with, but yeah, I enjoy that personally. I can't say I'm an aficionado on any sense though.
Hey, you're just saying what you like. It's no big.
Exactly.
It's no.
That's true.
It's like, I mean, personally, me, Ill Bill and DJ Muggs. Oh my gosh, I could listen to that release with Kill Devil Hills. I could listen to that all the time. And the thing that, like you mentioned it, it's like, okay, so you're talking about money, talking about getting coke or whatever, but like they go a little deeper sometimes. I mean, they go and talk about conspiracy theories or, all kinds of wild stuff that I actually have to look it up online to say, what is that? What are they talking about now?
Intriguing and eye-opening.
Yeah.
If you do have a message that's a definite plus in your music, I mean, there's a lot of stories and whatnot end up with a message or a moral or whatnot. But yeah, if we can talk about real things, especially you bring up conspiracies, but if you can wake people up in any way, that's great, as long as you got your facts straight.
Yeah. Now, I want to switch gears for a second. I want to talk about this release. So I heard you guys play tonight. Destroyed, of course. We all know this.
Thank you.
But I heard, are all the songs that you played going to be on this next release?
No, not all the songs are going to be on the next release. We had we had an issue with one of the songs on there. And then another one of the songs that we play on the set was meant to be for the next album anyway. We didn't have it ready when we recorded, but so far we pretty much have 3 tracks ready for the next thing. But this one's going to be a really solid release. We got some really good songs.
And can you go over them for me? Can you tell me? Because I want to see if it's some of the songs I heard.
Yeah.
What you got going on?
The new album, I guess we kind of played it in order from what it's going to be on, because the first 2 tracks are going to be on the next one. Then it's, what do we play first? Death Star, Jeffrey, Badass. Then we played Arabian Sandwich. And then our last one is the title track of the new album, River Madness.
Yeah. And what was it? There was another track you played. Shit That Killed Elvis?
Yeah, The Shit That Killed Elvis, and then our first song that we play is called White Horse, and that's going to be on the next one.
All right, so can you tell me a little bit about the titles, like The Shit That Killed Elvis? Can we talk about that? Or?
We can talk about The Shit That Killed Elvis.
Yeah, we just smoke a lot of weed, and sometimes we name songs after weed. Apparently, Will smoked some weed called The Shit That Killed Elvis.
Okay.
So when we were making the riff, it was like, yeah, that's kind of like a shoe-in.
Usually we'll just stand there and be like, okay, what is this song going to be called? As soon as we get done writing it, whatever comes up first is usually what we go with.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's cool about having instrumental songs is we can kind of just call it whatever we want.
Hell yeah,
and it works out.
Now you talk about smoking some weed, so let's discuss. Do you have a specific strain that you like, or?
We are we just smoke weed, I think. I don't think any of us are like...
We're just scavengers.
If you're a guy with a display and a spectrum array of different sorts of weed, yeah, I'll be a nerd and I'll go through it, but I used to do a lot of drugs, and I really seek that strong narcotic high. I really like indica strains. I just want to not be able to move and
Right.
feel like I used to, but not, not have any money the next day.
Yeah, because like Mikey's the most responsible out of all of us. All he does is smoke weed. Chocolate and I are the dummies out of the two of us who just try to have a good time. I guess that's the best way to put it.
I'm pretty much a goddamn mess, but I'm working on it.
So
I already got mine. I'm just over it.
how does that help or hinder playing, or does it bring something out?
Playing it definitely, I feel like it helps us have not necessarily a better time, but we definitely get more. Like tonight, you watched us play. We haven't smoked weed in like 2 hours, which is like a record for us.
2 complete hours?
2 complete hours.
That's 120 minutes for those at home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand if you feel bad for us, because I do, but like we, yes, once again, loserfur.weed@gmail.com.
Look, if I could go over to Circle K right now and grab some for you, I would. I swear.
I know me and Mikey get a lot out of psychedelics as well. That's something that me and him are both pretty, we're pretty open about. That, there's definitely a place for it. Mikey too.
I don't, as much as I don't do hard drugs. I don't do hard drugs that affected me negatively. Acid has never affected me negatively, or any psychedelic drugs for that matter that I've taken. It's usually just a positive, mind expanding experience. And
You have to be in the right frame. You have to be in the right frame of mind. If not, you like anything, even weed, you get very paranoid or what have you. Especially if you're not around the right people.
Oh yeah, dude. I grew up in Michigan, and I used to go to Detroit every weekend and play shows and things like that. And the first time I ever did acid, I was in Detroit with a bunch of people I didn't know, and it was fucking awful. but then I did it again, just by myself, and really enjoyed it, and really got to do what I wanted to do and listen to the tunes I wanted to listen to.
Right.
It kind of opened the door for me to know that I could, I can create. It gave me a little extra oomph in my step.
Right.
And it might not do that for everyone, people handle things differently, but for me it was like, yeah.
It's always been a weird thing that people consider it like a party thing, because that feels like the exact opposite to me.
Unless everyone's dosed out, then it's a good time. But I don't see.
Very rare.
Going to a party. The only time
see Ashley dosed out.
The only time I took acid and I think I left a party. Me and my friend Tim were on acid. We left a party. We got a ride back to my house, and we heard another party. So we just followed our ears, and we ended up at this. It was fucking ghetto, but we just fucking giggled and stood by the keg and drank all their beer. And no one said shit. It was awesome.
Sounds good.
That's a party right there.
We like to have a good
That's the
time.
party.
I think that's one thing that we all get along with really well, is that we are serious people, but we also know that, we life is short. We just have the best time we can.
Yeah, I mean, we try not to do too much gnarly shit until after the shows, but it's always nice to smoke a little bit before we go on stage, just because we vibe with each other so much better. We vibe with each other anyway, but it's always nice to just split a joint with your bandmates and be like, all right, let's go fuck shit up,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good feeling, and then we're all we know exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, you're collectively on the same page, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, we're relaxed.
Relaxed for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the indica strain, yeah, there you go.
It's a good time. We might lose 10 beats per minute after that, but it'll be okay.
So it'll be more of a sludgy, droney doom. Yeah.
Depends on what we got.
Pick it back up.
Negative coming from that, so.
So when you're not playing music, what do you guys do on the off time?
I work pretty much 7 days a week. I work in a kitchen, and I serve tables, and I enjoy it. But other than that, I play music at home, and I play video games. And
Are you a traditional foodie?
no, not really. I think that a lot of that stuff is actually really annoying. The whole super pretentious food scene right now.
Right.
If you're from Phoenix, you've probably been to a pita jungle before. That's what I've been at for the past few years. And it's super quick, in and out. I mean, yeah, people tend to get a little overexcited about it, but I don't give a fuck, man. It's food. You eat it 3 to 4 times a day, and enjoy it, then you leave. Like that's food.
There's something weird and it blows my mind. That's one thing, but it's just we're just polluted with
Loserfur just got paid. Sorry.
trends.
Awesome.
And whatnot.
Our first $20.
Oh,
Hey, there you go.
$20, y'all.
that's halfway to a bag.
Thank you.
Apparently bar potatoes, but I mean, it's like funny.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Guys, thanks for playing. You guys ripped so hard.
Thank you.
On the skateboard.
Hell yeah.
I'm just gonna edit it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. So, Mike, what do you do in your off time?
In my off time, well, I have a baby boy on the way, and I live at home with.
Do you know
my
who the father is, or?
girlfriend. Yeah, that's gonna be me, Daddy Pito.
Oh, look at that! Oh, congrats!
Yeah, he dropped seed.
His name is going to be Will.
Yeah, I don't know about a name yet. We're probably gonna go with some crazy Aztec name or something. But I do that. I went with my girl. I have a son coming.
Right.
I play a lot of video games and roommates. I run a house downtown.
Whoa.
2 other roommates that I pretty much consider family. So I just do that, and then, my Zen garden time is working on PCs and playing video games and stuff.
Are you the type of person that builds a computer?
Yeah, I build them, I overclock them, I do all that nerdy
All right,
shit.
you already went over my head. What is that overclock?
Oh, yeah.
What does that
We don't have
mean?
to get super into it, but essentially you can tweak voltages within the motherboard and the BIOS settings to make your processor faster, or if you have other software, you can overclock graphics cards, make them run faster, which in the end you're going to be getting higher frame rates, better resolutions, things like that.
Do you work on the websites and such?
No, but I can. I'm
You can?
familiar with HTML, FTP. I know how it all works. I just don't.
Right.
But I'm sure I could figure it out. I don't know. I just need a few hours of Dreamweaver and I don't know, set you something up.
So if somebody in the local area needs some computer help, maybe
Sure.
they could ask.
Let's tweak voltages.
And what was that Gmail again?
Loserfur.weed@gmail.com.
There we go.
Apparently, we're doing computer repairs and jam sessions.
If you want to send us weed, or you need computers fixed, or if you just want to hear some cool tunes, we got you.
And Mike, what do you do in your off time?
Dude, I work for a physical therapy company Monday through Friday, but when I'm not doing that, I usually just either jam with these dudes or a skateboard. I've been skateboarding since I was 12, and
Mike's kind of, he's a shredder. He won't tell you that, but
he's a
Mike,
fucking lying.
Huh.
Dude, last weekend I went skating and landed on my face twice in a row, so apparently it can't be that good, but...
But do you land?
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I got some video parts on YouTube and stuff that I've done. I've had sponsors
he skates for a
and all
company
that
called Tyrant Skateboards. It's run by our buddy Dom, who lives in San Francisco right now. So check out Tyrant Skateboarding.
Yeah. Buy some boards so I can get some for free.
Yeah.
Please.
That is awesome. Okay, that's where the shirt's from, or?
Yeah. This is actually one of the shirts. Yeah.
And you came from Michigan.
Yeah. I was born in this small town called Gregory. We're like 45 minutes from Ann Arbor and 45 minutes from Lansing, Michigan. So we're right in between the U of M MSU rivalry.
Right.
So
Were you there long enough to see the scene there, the music scene there? Or?
yeah, I actually played in the music scene for a while. Our buddy Dom that we were just talking about, he has a band out there called Drunk Dom and the Roaches, and
Right.
that was my first stage stuff. I just played solos for his stuff, and he makes some cool bar rock and roll, really foul shit.
There you go.
It's like built for Detroit shit. It's
All right, maybe Hank Williams III, or is it like a little, it's more of a punkabilly or like country punk?
no, I'd say it's more or less just like some just barroom rock and roll style shit with like some blues mixed in and a little bit of country twang in there every now and again. But it's really cool. Like it really helped me, especially with this, because I was like nervous as hell. I'm always nervous before every show, but.
Well, it doesn't show on stage.
Dude, I just fucking wing it.
You zone. I see all three. The weed helps.
Loserfur.weed@gmail.com.
So, do any of you have any OCD rituals like before you play?
Okay, this is where I come in. So I I set up all of our gear for us. Chocolate is not as much gear oriented as I tend to be a lot of the times.
So you're going to keep the mic for the next question.
Yeah, I know most about our setup, and I guess it's not necessarily OCD. I know where things are supposed to be at for our stuff.
Right.
And I enjoy doing it personally.
So with that said, what equipment, and if you want to go to each of you, what equipment do you use and why did you choose it? Because I see some of the bands of the genre that you play, and they have about 30 pedals.
Right.
And I don't see a lot of pedals with either of. I see a few, but not a whole lot, and you're still getting this amazing sound. So please tell us a little bit about
So with
yourself.
Chocolate, originally, we were going straight into the amp. He was playing through an Orange Crush 120 for a while, and it sounded good, but we weren't getting the grit that we needed. So he's going through one of the early 90s Big Muff Pies. It sounds really good. His setup's simple. So it's going from his Flying V, to a Big Muff, and then into his Sound City 120L, which is going to a diesel 412 with vintage 30s in it, which is we just got that like a week ago, and it's kind of changed how we've been.
Fucker is loud.
Yeah.
It's
So loud.
It's just so loud and having to adjust.
Sounds like a warplane to me. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard loud amps before.
facing me?
Yeah.
Because like I play through a Harkey LH500 going into a 410, an Ampeg 410, and tonight I was just playing through my PV 250 watt amp into a Randall 215, which is kind of easier to carry around. I don't have to carry around 2 amps and 2 cabinets, but I usually play through a Sun 610, and that gives me the clean that I need. But I play through a bass Big Muff for pretty much the entire show.
Right.
Yeah, and then I only play through 2 other effects too. It's just a phase shifter and a delay pedal.
Right.
And the delay is just there for in between a couple of songs to add a little bit of room and a little bit, I mean, we're a stoner band, so we got to have all that, glitchy delay stuff in between songs, and I feel like that kind of is just kind of our standard transition between stuff. But that's it, really.
And what about Mike? Do you have I saw the kit, and is there a specific reason why you chose?
Well, I fell in love with that kit at a pawn shop, mainly because of the natural maple color that it is. There's no stain, wrap, lacquer, none of that stuff. It's made locally by a man named Tom Schultz. It's TJS drums. That happens to be the Maple Passion. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I guess unites all of them is the sound. Each shell is dated a different date by years. So whoever assembled that kit picked out all the right sounding stuff.
Right.
So it looks and sounds beautiful. Big sound as well, 24-inch kick. And then the cymbals, I play all Zildjian Ks, and I try to buy the largest cymbals that I can to keep up with the 120L. That thing's loud, and I have to fucking wail.
Yes, you do. Now, since you're on stage, you're a band, etc., you get a call from Hollywood, and they want to do a movie. And they want to know, who do you think should play you as an actor or actress, no judgment, in a film?
That's a great question.
What actor would play you in a film?
Probably Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I mean, you're a little shorter, but I think it'll work.
Yeah, we're gonna need hair and makeup to do a quick little number on him, but I feel like with lights and industrial light and magic, we can do this because honestly, it's movie magic.
That's what it is. It's the land of stars and the land of wonder.
Yeah.
And yourself, Will?
Does Denzel Washington make sense? Because I feel like I look pretty good. Like
You guys both have a really strong personality.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, complexion-wise, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would.
I feel like, also, have you ever, what annoys me, and I feel like it's just because I'm a kind of a big dude with a beard, people always tell me I look like Seth Rogen, and that always kind of annoys me because I don't think I look like Seth Rogen.
So either.
No, I'm not seeing it.
I don't get it, but I think it's because I laugh kind of like a goon. I do like a and people
It's close.
yeah. And
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe that, but I would probably either go with Denzel or Wesley Snipes.
Chocolate. Wesley Snipes. Would you? Like Denzel. Let me think about this. That I like that actually. That might.
They're
be,
both good actors.
I think, you know what? I think you made a stellar choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that.
Have you ever seen Independence Day?
Yes, I have.
Neither of those dudes are in that movie, but it's a good movie. I watched it recently.
Just figured we'd share.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
And, sir, Mike, who's going to play you?
Dude.
Well, I mean, just as a heads up, Denzel has been taken.
Yeah, Denzel's
or Wesley,
been
whatever.
taken.
And
When I
Vern
thought I
Troyer.
was the cutest dude in the band, apparently I'm not. Dude, I'd have to say, is it Dead or Alive?
Yeah, I don't care.
Dead or Alive?
I mean, I would
Okay.
love live because carrying a corpse around on set.
all
would
right,
be
so we'll do
rough.
Dead and Alive. Dead, Richard Pryor for sure, dude.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
That or Lionel Richie.
And then Alive, dude, probably Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. That's a good pull.
I got a little. I'm a little fucking weird. so-
Is it the hair? Is it?
It's
you know, I
just-
mean, I don't want to say anything, and I know people can't see this, so I'll just give people a visual by talking. He's wearing the same shorts right now. They are a bit short. I thought you were crazy, but in those shorts, I could clearly see your nuts.
It's a sweatband that I feel like really sells
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Chocolate is a big endorser of the American flag sweatband, and he looks good in it.
Yeah.
Ever seen the Saturday Night Live sketch with Eddie Murphy where he does the little Richard Simmons?
Oh yeah.
That's the best shit, and that's all I can think of. Is like,
That's chocolate.
seen that? Yeah, because he's got the mustache, he's got the fucking hair, but he's Richard Simmons, and it's fucking Eddie Murphy, dude. Little Richard Simmons.
And I mean, I feel like I got a little pep in my step sometimes.
Sure.
Like I might come off a little tired, but once we get on stage and fucking get going, I really just fucking lose all frame of
And you're fancy.
any sanity that I've had at all. Just kind of
Hey,
let
no.
loose on it, you know.
That works. I mean, you could even start your own infomercial, and I mean, I know he had Deal a Meal. You could definitely do Deal a Weed. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
right
Deal
there.
of Weed is probably happening soon.
Yeah.
Chocolate also has the biggest wiener out of all of us, too.
We're
Congratulations.
still trying to figure that out.
Oh,
It's pretty cold tonight. I don't know.
I shrivel up like a stack of dimes on those days. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have seen Chocolate Mike's wiener more than I've seen mine in the past year. He skates ramps naked. He also enjoys just letting people know what's up.
We mentioned this earlier. There was a story that you had about the Yucca Tap Room. Does that involve his dick, or?
Unfortunately not, or else Chocolate might be dickless.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I'll give the spark notes of this story.
Take your time.
So,
please.
3 or 4 years ago, I was playing in a band called This Happens Every Time. It was like a noise punk band.
Right.
We played here at the Yucca Tap Room with a band called Three Trap Tigers. They're really sick. Check them out. They're this really cool UK band.
Okay.
But we got done playing our set, and I was standing out back here at the Yucca Tap Room, which is the back of the building is where most of the people hang out, and it's like, there's a Circle K right behind there, so that's where we are right now.
Right.
I was standing out there smoking a cigarette, talking to some guy, and I saw a bunch of flames shooting out behind this dumpster that's right over here.
I see it.
And I thought some, homeboys just lit the dumpster on fire and like ran away. But the flames moved from behind the dumpster into the center walkway here at the Yucca Tap Room. Apparently what had happened, and I didn't find this part out until afterwards, is that a couple of dudes had rolled up on a homeless man and doused him in gasoline. And lit him on fire.
Oh
and
my
so I was
God.
standing out here, and it's like watching a train wreck, man.
Wow, that took a turn.
I couldn't pay attention to what was going on besides this guy, and he was, on fire for probably about a minute and a half before the bouncer here at Yucca had a fire extinguisher and put him out. He ran over, put him out. He was still alive on the ground. His skin had burned off. He didn't have any clothes. He was missing fingers and stuff like that. The ambulance showed up a couple minutes later. And, he died on the scene, obviously. But that was literally the last time I was at the Yucca Tap Room here in beautiful Tempe, Arizona.
Wow.
And that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
That's a hard story to follow.
Unfortunately, that's not the first time I've watched somebody pass away after a show I played. In Birmingham, we finished playing a show. I pulled out of the venue. I watched a guy get run over. He was on a motorcycle. He got run over by a car going 60 miles an hour. Had to stand there and watch him die, too. So, if you're going to go to a Loserfur show, please remember to call a lift and don't talk to strangers.
And bring a fire extinguisher in case.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and yeah, that was a weird time for a little bit because I was like 19 when that happened, 19, 20 years old when that happened, and
Right.
definitely the craziest, most, appalling thing I've ever seen. And
That's like one of those internet videos that you just
yeah,
kinda
man.
see
And
and
what's crazy is that every once in a while I'll be at a bar and somebody will be talking about it and be like, "Yeah, that was my band playing that night." Isn't that fucking crazy? Like it was definitely the most eye-opening experience I've ever had.
We definitely want you guys all to be safe. This is an infomercial for just do drugs responsibly.
Don't drive if you're
Yeah.
gonna do drugs.
Yeah, don't drive. Get yourself a fucking Uber and get yourself home safely. Don't drink too much.
Yeah.
Let us do the drinking for you and do all your drugs. We got it.
We're fine with that.
We're
That-
seasoned vets.
And that is a PSA from Richard Pryor Simmons.
Yes.
Yes.
Richard Gene Simmons.
I
So-
fucking hate that dude.
So how
Piss
long?
rules.
How long do you think it will be before this style of music will be on terrestrial radio?
I don't think it will. Honestly, like you look at music trends over the past few years, things that tend to have a harsh sound and things that tend to, I wouldn't say our band brings up a lot of emotional feelings or anything like that, but anything that tends to have a little bit more of a grit tends to stay in the, I feel like, underground scene. But I don't know. Because, like, you look at bands like, like Uncle Acid now. Like, last time I saw them,
Yeah.
they played to a packed-out place.
They're
and, like,
fucking great.
Right.
yeah, and I saw Sleep once, and, like, there's literally, it's sold out no matter where you go and see those
Yeah.
guys. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't see it being played on the radio just because radio's shit. It's been shit since, dude. Like,
And anything cool sort of underground gets sucked back into it and you receive a shitty product out of it. There's going to be people turning out fucking, classic rock riffs and fucking stoner riffs and shit, but making them marketable, which is going to make them shit.
yeah, and I mean, it's not to say anything bad about people, but we're just so dumbed down now. It's not like it was in the 60s and 70s when people fucking were experimenting with things and really learned about what life was. It's more or less now like, oh, let's just party and have a good time, and then you're 55 and wondering why you don't have a place to live and you've been doing ecstasy since you were fucking 17. It's things are a little different. Like, it's all good and fun to have a good time, but like, if you're gonna just fucking blow your life doing that and not do anything better for you, then that's where you're gonna end up, which is crazy.
So with that said, like you talk about the 60s and there was like a cultural revolution.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I feel that there's an interesting revolution going on now. Does that affect your music, or does that affect any part of your creative process?
Most definitely. I mean, like, that's why we make the kind of music we're making, is just because, and why we don't have a vocalist as well. We definitely want to do something different. There's a lot of bands out there doing different stuff, like we had talked about Earthless, and we do get a lot from them, and they have their own certain style of the way they do things, and it's fucking amazing, and we're a little similar with maybe shorter songs, but we got something to say. We just kind of let our instruments speak for us and just take it from there. And if people are feeling it, which a lot of people have been, that's the reason that we even decided to make an album in the first place.
Right now, I know you mentioned Earthless. I have too. I know they have a new track out that it's pretty cool. It's got some vocals on it. It's real different. What about like something like Karma to Burn? Would you?
I can't say I've really listened to that.
Okay.
Have you?
First time I've heard of that. That sounds cool, though.
Yeah, it's something I'm definitely going to have to look into. I really like, there's this band called Sabana Breeze, and they're from the 70s, and I've only heard one track by them.
Right.
But it's called Slave, and it's one of the sickest fucking instrumental tracks I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, like, this sounds sick. Like, I really appreciate this, and it gave me a little motivation to be like, dude, fuck singing. Let's just fucking rock it and just put out a vibe and just see how people take it,
Now, I know this is a little on the side. I was talking to somebody about on another podcast about battle jackets. Do any of you have a battle jacket, and do you have a specific stance on them?
I do. The vest that I have, all the patches on it and shit.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before. I am so lazy about buying shit that like if I buy a patch, it usually ends up on the one jacket that I have to put shit on like that. And it's homies bands. It's a combination of shit that I bought at like things like shirts and things and like stuff online. But unfortunately, my cat peed on it once, so it kind of has a great cat piss smell to it now.
Oh,
so
delicious.
Which really sells the battle jacket thing, which I feel like those are supposed to be as crummy and like crusty and sweaty as you can get them.
Yeah, it has to stand by itself. It doesn't even need a hanger.
Oh no, yeah. Okay. Well, if that constitutes it, yeah, then I got that. Like that thing stands.
Do you have a nickname for that? Like, do you call it Tender Vittles or something? Or
I probably should. No, that's not a bad one. Right now, I just call it my cat piss jacket that I wear when I want to make sure people know that I have a cat.
well, it's been through a lot, so you could call it 9 Lives if you need to.
Okay, that's a good idea.
But if you decide to call it Fancy Feast, I'm throwing you out. That's it. You're done.
Oh, I don't use Fancy Feast. Personally, I feed my cats holistic fucking organic cat food because they're cats and they deserve the best.
And what does this organic cat food do for them? Does it give them a nice,
my
wonderful,
cats take a
shiny coat?
Great shits. Like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, you wouldn't believe the kind of shits that my cats are taking. They also can see through walls.
Oh.
One of my cats can climb on top of very tall things.
Wow.
The other one also is very strong.
It's like a superhero. It's like the Justice League.
Have you ever seen
for cats.
Catwoman?
I have.
It's kind of like that.
Wow.
One of the cats has an extra muscle in its leg. I know it because I watched it jump a whole fence. I was like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't even jump that.
One of my cats bit clean through my hand one time. Like there was an entry wound and an exit wound in my hand. So I got to think that I owe that to natural pet food.
It's the organic living that's really bringing them to the edge.
I love my cats, so I make sure they have the best that they can get. I got 3 of them,
And I know they're going to be listening, so if you can give a shout out to each one of them, please.
All right, shout out to Cricket, shout out to Strider, and Kindu. If you're still in our neighborhood, please come back home. It's been a while. We haven't seen you in a while. Please write. Thank you.
Is that cat like a wanderer?
No, he got out, but he's going to come back eventually, hopefully.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Dude, yeah.
If not, I still got 2 more who are still eating the holistic cat food who I will have until they're probably 30 years old because of the holistic cat food.
Absolutely.
I don't have any cats. I got 3 dogs, though. Actually, one of the songs that we play is called Jeffrey, and it's named after a little chihuahua that I have.
Oh.
And they're all pretty fucking rad. We just feed them kibbles and bits, though.
What are the other 2?
We got Elijah and Doobie.
And what are they? What kind of?
Elijah is a Ridgeback Pit Bull, and Doobie is another Chihuahua.
Wow, so 2 littles and a big.
Yep. Yeah, they fucking love each other. It's really rad. I like to get stoned and watch them fucking try to kill each other every day. It's pretty cool.
Now, I know that, like we've said this already, we've established this, that you're an instrumental band. If there was somebody that could sing, alive or dead, with you, who would it be? I would love to hear alive, but, dead, it's either
We
one.
talked about, we always wanted an Ozzy. Like, we always wanted somebody who can really stick to the parts that we need them to and
Right.
still add melody, but, I guess that's really it. Like,
I want to hear Elvis sing the shit that killed Elvis.
that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Song about him killing himself? Yeah, it's fucking great.
What would the lyrics be for that?
I
Would it
imagine
be-
they'd be something like, didn't Elvis die on a toilet because he did too much cocaine or something like that?
There was a lot of painkillers, I think, and he was probably really constipated, and I imagine he was probably pushing way too hard.
too much bearing down. It just kind of.
Yeah.
Most of the lyrics would most definitely be about eating fried banana sandwiches.
Yeah,
for
peanut
sure.
butter and banana sandwiches. I was just thinking that would be a class thing.
That'd
Maybe
be
something
good.
about a nice sparkly jumpsuit.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a new Elvis, some kind of like G.G. Allen, Elvis Presley, like crossover person, and then they can be in our band, who is not Glenn Danzig.
So, okay. So let's put this into a perspective here. So we're gonna have an Elvis that comes out with a jumpsuit, eventually takes it off, will shit on the stage, and then fight people, and then sing like a "Love Me Tender."
I mean, that sounds pretty good to me.
It wouldn't be a love me tender. It'd be more like a fuck me tender kind of thing.
Some real tender fucking is what we're usually into.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess instead of Hotel Rock, maybe, or whatever is it? What's that? Wait.
Motel rock here.
Dude, hotel cock piece. You never know. Might have to strap one on.
So when are you guys most creative? In like, is there daytime, nighttime? Is there something that sparks your interest?
We were actually just talking about this yesterday because me and Chocolate are working on new tunes right now, and believe it or not, smoking a bunch of weed before we write songs doesn't help a whole lot. We
don't get a lot accomplished.
Yeah, because like we'll sit there and like enjoy the sounds of our amps, and we'll enjoy like playing the riffs if we're like doing that. But like yesterday, we were writing a new tune. It's usually Chocolate and I together who will sit there and write the new tunes together, and we'll just usually sit there and like I'll show him something that I have an idea for, and he'll show me how he would play it, and it kind of goes back and forth to really just going one step at a time and making sure that we're both happy with what we're doing.
Yeah, it usually takes me a long time to catch on. Because I'm not the best guitar player. I fucking have my own little style that I do. But usually after, oh shit.
Do you hear that? My ride's here.
Yeah.
It's on its way.
Dude, I'm riding with you. They got good drugs over where they're going. No, I definitely use my style to my advantage, especially because Will makes the sickest fucking bass riffs, and I get really stoked, and I just show him kind of the way that I would present it and see how he feels about it, and then we'll tweak it from there. And then we'll usually call Mikey in once we have it kind of dialed in.
Right.
And just kind of show him, and then Mikey just fucking goes off on it. So it's fucking really fun when Mikey gets involved, when we know we have something that's...
It's stress-free, too. Like every other project that I've, had, the chance to play in and stuff is always a lot of fun. But with us, it's so relaxed, and I think we're all just so open to, like, how we all play together, and we're all just very appreciative of what we can do together. So it really, it's not a hard process for us to write songs. So far, it's been really quick. Like everything that we start up, we end up finishing within a day or so, and we found out at this point how to not get stuck writing songs. And like when we know like, okay, that's not the direction that we need to go in, like we do have a formula for how we want our stuff to sound, for sure.
Right. Now, do you think that since you've been in the music business that anything has radically changed? Or maybe a better question would say, how has the music industry changed at all since you've started?
The internet, obviously. I mean, I feel like anybody around our age group will probably say the same thing. When I started playing music in Birmingham, we would play to the same, like if there was 3 bands playing in a night, and if you were one of the bands, the other 2 bands are the only dudes watching you, because
right.
like there's nobody else going out to shows out there. And
why do you think that is?
It's just a small scene. There's not a lot of like, I was friends with a lot of the people that I played shows with out there, and I still am. I still keep up with how stuff is going, but it's just different in different parts, obviously. And like, every time we play out here, we're playing in front of new people, which is something that's a lot. It's fun because we see people who like who don't look like they necessarily be into like heavy rock and roll and stuff that
right.
we play, but seem like they're having a good time, and that's something that I feel like you don't get when you're playing smaller communities.
What is it, more country out there?
Oh no, I mean I played in punk bands, I
anything?
played in noise bands out there and stuff. It's just Birmingham itself is it's not a very populated city. I mean it kind of is, but
right.
You also just have to find the people who are into what you're doing, which causes a very great tight-knit scene, but at the same time it's easy to get defeated in an environment like that because you'll put out a record and everybody who's listened to it has also seen your band 10 times at this point. And
well, do you think that now with the the internet's been around for a long time now, do you think that it's easier with all the different social medias to garner interest with the band, even if you're not in the area that you're in, like Birmingham?
Easier but harder, because it's easier to put it out there for people to listen to, but people necessarily being, enthused about listening to it is a completely different thing.
Right. Plus, like, people like what they like. But, everybody's been on fucking YouTube and saw, like, or listened to, like, one of their favorite songs, and then all of a sudden something comes up next, and it fucking blows your mind,
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we're hoping to do. But
good.
I mean, even if it doesn't pick up really fast, we'll never stop making music. We just really enjoy like jamming with each other. It's really, you know, like we all work fucking jobs and we work our asses off, and it's really nice to just be able to enjoy each other's company and make something that we know people like more than anything. And you know, the internet just gives us a little bit of a platform to do that. Like, yeah, we might not make as like a lot of money off it,
right?
But that's not why we started doing it in the first place.
You do it for the love.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the old adage of, you know, you do what you love, money will come.
Yeah, who knows if it will, but honestly, I have such a good time.
We just got $40.
Yeah, we just made our first $40 here. Yeah.
Well, I got to say, you know what? I saw you guys play tonight. I saw you guys also over at the Palo Verde Lounge. That's one of the main reasons I'm here tonight, because I was so thoroughly impressed with what you did. You were with Goya in the Company of Serpents.
Shout out to Jeff, by the way, who recorded our first album. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Fucking killed it. He fucking killed it.
How easy is it to work with Jeff?
Oh, Jeff's great, man. It's like working with a good friend.
Our band, honestly, like when he was there recording with us, we all just got stoned and like did our thing. And Jeff's already like a really mellow, nice, easygoing, good to work with guy. I've known Jeff for a lot of years, I think like coming up on like 15 years or something, and he's always just been a solid, good, honest dude, and I super dig that. So having him in the room with us, miking everything up, I know he's going to take his time. He likes our stuff, and it shows in the recording. He made us sound really good, so we're very thankful.
Now, regarding the genre or whatever you want to classify yourself as in music, where do you see it going in like another 5-10 years?
Fuck. Dude, I think with the more people are opening their minds to different kinds of styles and things like that, I think it's going to do really well. I mean, people want to hear shit from the bottom of people's hearts and souls, you know?
Right.
They want to see people play music like they did back in the 60s and 70s and just wild out and wing it and, you know, pull the trigger, do something that is going to, or play something that's going to entice your mind, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are getting back into it. I mean, there's a lot of really good bands that are out right now that you can tell, you're like, dude, they're going to be around for like the next 20 years. They're sick.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. I see them right now.
Thanks, man. I always, like, you know, obviously certain genres have certain time periods where they do better. Like a few years ago, like, you know, black metal started to come back again and people were more interested in listening to new black and death metal bands, I feel like. And a lot of great bands came out of that scene. And I feel like stoner and psychedelic rock has kind of come back maybe in the past couple of years. You know, I feel like it's maybe a little bit more popular than when I was listening to it in like high school and stuff. But at the same time, it's, you know, there's always, like, if you like something, especially I feel like music is something that if you like it once, you're probably always going to have a spot in your heart for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the scene getting a reemergence with all these great new bands that, like, are just incredible. Like, because I listen to newer bands like Elder and, like, Big Business and, like...
They're coming here,
which I saw, which is really fucking cool. And, like, stuff like that makes me genuinely excited to be part of something that I feel like will stay and something that I feel like has brought people into liking music. I don't feel like that's ever going to die. You know, like...
You know, this was a great show tonight, and it was really... There was a lot of people here, I thought, for tonight's show. When, you know, we're here on a weekday, you know, people got to get up tomorrow, and they still come out to support. So
thanks to all the homies who came out and watched us play tonight, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, we always end up getting a lot of love, and... Like I was telling you before, that's the whole reason we decided to do an album, is just people were asking for it, and the homies just really like it, and it's sick because we love to play it for them, you know? It's for them. It's for us too, to like get all our shit off our chest, but that they love it makes us want to play it.
For us, you know, it's us, it's our family, it's people we've never heard before. Come check it out, you know? Yeah. Hopefully we can all feel like on the same level.
Is there ever an idea of you doing a cover?
We've talked about it. I don't think it's anything that we'll ever do, though, honestly. Because whenever I see a band that you've paid money to go see and they rip out a cover, personally, I get a little annoyed with it.
Right.
Because it's like I paid to see a band that's doing their stuff. I didn't pay to see a band who learned another band's stuff and is like coasting off of it. Personally, that's me, but I've also played with so many shitty dad rock bands, and I'm so over it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I want to get to your answer, but could you explain dad rock?
Oh, for sure. So about a year and a half ago, I was playing with my old band, and we played at a place called Rogue Bar, and we played with this great group of older gentlemen, who all probably in their like late 40s, early 50s, who were playing songs probably from, that they liked from the past. But one of the better songs they played was Black Sabbath's Paranoid.
Right.
But the vocalist only knew the vocal, like the lyrics to the first verse, so he just sang those repeatedly throughout the entire song on repeat.
All right.
That was great. It was a new rendition of the song that I hadn't heard yet, and I was pretty blown away. That's what I call dad rock. Like I got we got some Line 6 stacks going. We got some. We're plugging straight into the PA. We got our Piezo pickups ready to go, and we're ready to play some rock. Dad rock.
So, is there any advice that you could give to bands just starting out?
Fucking save money.
Yeah, save money, and then you will be able to do stuff faster, like buy better equipment and be able to purchase your recording.
Buy the Reggie. Save the money.
Just save the money. Buy just normal weed. You don't need to go out there and buy all that crazy shit. That's like, oh, this stuff is wax, and it's from like the guy who grew it from India, and he knows about weed. It's like, that's not cool. Save the money and put it into your band by buying better amps and stuff. But honestly, like for real, just have fun, man, because all the bands that I see that I really enjoy seeing are doing it because they enjoy it.
Right.
You see bands who are like, especially like bigger metal touring acts who like literally go up there, they stand there, they play their tunes, and then they're off stage, which, some bands, that's cool and all, but like I enjoy watching people who enjoy doing what they're doing. It's like, why do anything that you're not super enthused about and, waste your time doing that? Like, we're having a good time, and I feel like anybody who doesn't really follow that isn't doing it for the right reasons.
Somebody shouted out something about a tattoo. Are we talking about that or no?
Yeah. Do you want to show him just so we'll be able to, like... We have a song named after this. It's called Bat Ass.
I'm a little concerned that he has to.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
For the listeners at home, right now we're looking at Chocolate's butt.
Yes, we
which
are.
has like bleachy spot marks on it. But it is also a tattoo of a bat that a friend did of his that is not centered or good. We'll put it on our Instagram later tonight so people will know what we're talking about.
That is. I'm kind of at a loss for words right there. I wish you the best of luck with that.
Dude, that's going to be a hard one to explain to the children and the grandchildren eventually, but...
Well, I don't know how many people are you pulling your... How many people do you pull your pants down for daily?
Well,
like I said, I've seen Chocolate stick many a time, so we've seen this tattoo many a times.
Yeah, sometimes I just take my pants off, so a lot of people see it. I mean, it is what it is, but, fuck it.
Do you think you're gonna get it redone or?
Oh no, dude! It's just gonna be that shitty.
It's gonna be that.
I got a shitty Jimi Hendrix tattoo with like a "Take My Strong Hand" thing too. And I kind of feel that like that's how I play guitar also. So
there you go.
I thought about getting that fixed, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna leave it.
You just reminded me. So I know I'm going back and forth, but I know we were talking about the blues, and you talk. You play. You add that. I talked to a previous band, and they said that the blues riffs were a little difficult to play, hard on the hands. Do you agree with that?
No, but then again, like, I grew up playing the blues. Like, when I first learned how to play, like, my grandpa was a blues harmonica player and singer, and my dad was a blues guitar player. Like, it was really easy for me just because that's, like, the first things I learned. Like, the first couple songs I learned was, like, Sabbath and Hendrix. So it was just like, that's instantly blues, you know? And then from there, I'd listen to like Son House and Lead Belly and Robert Johnson. It's not hard to play. It's really not. it's so simple that people think it's hard. That's literally the whole thing.
And it's funny. It's like you're reading my mind, because the next question I wanted to ask you all was, what was the first song you learned to play?
What was yours?
You
told me before, but I
The
can't remember.
very first song I ever learned how to play was Black Sabbath Paranoid.
Paranoid. Okay.
I think mine, besides like taking violin lessons when I was a kid, the first like rock song I learned how to play was Kiss Lick It Up. That was on bass.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure what it was, but it was probably like a Misfits song back in the day. It was probably one of those. I was really into the Misfits when I was like 13.
And you know, Mike,
when I first started playing.
I don't think we got to hear some of your influences for specifically
we talked about a
for
lot
drummers.
of, like, rap and stuff, but that doesn't apply too much. And another reason why I liked a lot of the old school West Coast gangster rap stuff was the samples they use. They use a lot of Funkadelic.
Yep, P-Funk, yeah.
A lot of Lowrider car show stuff. Zapp and Roger. Roger Troutman is the man. You know, I super dig that stuff. But as far as like rock drumming goes,
Yeah.
Your typical Bill Ward, John Bonham, and I'm a huge Ween fan, and Claude Coleman Jr. is like one of my favorite drummers too. That guy's incredible.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I'm a big Ween fan. I like all kinds of music, hence why I like Ween. They're a genre-spanning, amazing rock and roll band, and they also don't give a shit, so I'm down.
Well, I've got a few other questions here. Some of them I've asked other bands, and they just give me blank stares. Nobody has an answer. So we're going to try it, and we'll see what we can come up with here. The first one is, do you have any current earworms, that like a song that you just can't get out of your head right now?
Easy Lover, Philip Bailey, Phil Collins duet.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's in my head right now, and it plays so much at my house because we were going to talk about like guilty pleasures and stuff too, I think, and that's like, I don't feel too guilty about it, but it's a little bit of it's there. Yeah.
And that was the song for the first WrestleMania.
Was it really?
Yeah, they used that. The beginning with the drum, and right before the instrumental part of it.
Yeah.
And how about yourself?
What was the question?
Do you have an earworm?
Okay, yeah. Right now, I have a kind of a tradition every year is I listen to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon at the beginning of every new year.
Right.
I don't know. I've just always done that, but every time I do that, it always kicks me off on a Pink Floyd kick, and I've listened to The Wall all the way through probably 3 times this week. I just love that album, and I'm not usually into like rock opera type stuff, but that one totally does it for me. I think it's thematically just really cool, and it gives me the willies when I listen to it still. I think that's definitely my earworm right now.
It's definitely one of the darker albums that really, it was a hit.
I love it, and I mean, not to go back to psychedelics and stuff, but one of my first really heavy psychedelic experiences was watching The Wall, and it really threw me through a loop for a while because a lot of the stuff that like building up a barrier and like not wanting to be part of stuff is stuff that I think everybody deals with at some point, but it's something that I definitely deal with is shutting people out. So it's a good. I like listening to stuff that kind of plays on your own emotions, and definitely I feel like that's where a lot of the my fondness of that album comes through, is kind of being able to relate to some of the themes of it.
You brought up a good point, and I'm going to come back to you with another question about something you just said, but I want to know, do you have something ringing around in your head?
Yeah, it's this 70s band called Dark. They have this song called Zero Time, and Dark was originated from this band called Wicked Lady with this guy Martin Weaver, and he's the fucking sickest guitar player. There's that one, and I also have Randy Holden. Fruit and Icebergs is fucking insane.
You showed me some of that stuff. It's really cool.
Dude is like the most insane guitar player in the fucking world, and nobody unless you listen to like Blue Cheer, like early, like a little bit later Blue Cheer, like you don't really know about him, but he had one self-titled album, and Fruit and Icebergs was on that, and it fucking blew my fucking brains out with a shotgun.
Now so now we can go back the other way. and we can go. Oh, we'll start with you. I've asked this question a few times. Has there been a song recently that affected you emotionally?
No, and
Okay.
it's kind of weird. Like, music does affect me emotionally a lot, but it's something I feel like I haven't been affected by as much recently as like finding something that really makes me feel differently about like music and the things that I do in my regular life.
Right.
And stuff like that, like, because we are an instrumental band, and a lot of the bands I listen to are instrumental. Honestly, albums I've listened to 100 times, I probably still couldn't tell you any of the lyrics to them because it's just not something that,
It's more of a vibe.
Yeah, for me it is, at least. I don't know. I still get really pumped up, and I feel really heady when I listen to some like really heavy stuff like Lightning Bolt, and I don't know, just stuff that like makes you feel. And stuff that happened, like, I feel like that hasn't happened to me in a while, but I mean, music is still great.
And Mike?
Lately I've been like having this awesome, I guess the appropriate word would be melancholy feeling. I've been on a Smashing Pumpkins kick lately.
Yeah, me too.
And it totally makes me want to, like, I don't know, smile, cry. I don't even know if that fucking makes sense, but
Of course.
Yeah, it's just it's an overcast day for my ears, and they love it. So.
Any particular song or album?
I really like, is it Machina or Makina, The Machines of God?
Mm-hmm.
Eye of the Morning is kind of stuck in my head, and then there's a song called Wound that opens up so fucking cheesy, like it's a Windows XP demo or some shit, but then it just is like the greatest pop song. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I've been a fan since Gish. It was Gish, right?
Gish is my favorite.
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is like only within the past year or two.
Gish
that
caught
I even
me.
started
Siamese
listening to
Dream.
Smashing.
Gish and Siamese Dream are my two favorite personally because of their just how they sound personally. But
I mean, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness was just
Yep.
a fucking all-around beautiful album all the way through.
Truly
as
epic.
well. Just they brought a little more opera style to it, and I thought that was a nice change up. Like, they kept it original, but brought a little bit more to the table as far as instrumentation wise, which was really sick.
Hell yeah.
We were Disarmed today on the radio, right?
We did.
Yeah, that's probably where that came from then for me.
yeah, because you kind of got me back into the Pumpkins a little bit because I always enjoyed their music. But me and you were watching live videos of theirs a couple weeks ago after a practice, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like they're good."
Dude,
Like,
fucking kill it. Jimmy Chamberlain is badass. I saw him his like acid jazz thing that he does open for Tears for Fears at Celebrity Theater.
Right?
Yeah, I left when Tears for Fears came on.
You weren't shouting,
No, I
let it
didn't-
all out.
I didn't let it out. No,
And you weren't head over heels either.
no, I let myself out. Yeah.
I would have been all that.
So, would there be a movie genre soundtrack that you'd like to be on? If so, what?
Jordy Orsky stuff would be cool, like Holy Mountain and like all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like dialogue.
Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
That is
one of my old
insane.
bands used to have that on as a background for while we played and stuff. Like,
Really?
Yeah, but the I don't know, the lack of dialogue I feel like would really attribute to how we do our stuff. That's how I picture our stuff, at least. Our music video that we're putting out in a couple weeks will differ with that, but it's still pretty similar, I feel like, as far as like the horror aspect of it.
Right.
Mine would be, there's this movie called Black Devil Doll, and I totally wish we could have done the fucking...
I saw that.
That movie's fucked
there,
up.
There was another one that was done years ago, but
Yeah.
I actually...
The new one?
I'm totally geeking out because I actually have a pin of Black Devil Doll
Dude,
that I got
shit
from
is-
Rotten Cotton.
Yeah, Rotten Cotton is fucking tight. Yeah, dude, that movie fucking yeah.
That makes me laugh so hard. It's so
movie's
wrong.
fucked off.
It's so wrong.
You can't stop watching it though, and it has the best one-liners. He's like, "Bitch, you got some big ass titties, but you ain't got no motherfucking brains." Like, yes, okay. It's a go.
Hell yeah.
That movie, man, that just kills me. And if your entire life was a movie, what title would you choose?
Fuck.
The fucking.
Fuck the fucking.
Yeah, it'd just be fuck the fucking the Loserfur story.
And Mike?
Oh, me?
Yeah, would you add to that? Would you?
I don't know.
2.
I think about my life, and recently it's just shit in a wastebasket, so we can call my film Shit in a Wastebasket.
Fuck the fucking and shit in a wastebasket. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
I guess that works, man. And what would you be your idea of a perfect day?
For me, and honestly, I feel like we all do this a lot because, this is something that we've talked about a lot. It's just like there's no point of doing something every day that you don't like doing.
Right.
So for us, we do go to work every day. And, I get to hang out with my girlfriend and my dog every day. And I get to go home and work on cool tunes and hang out with my friends. That's a good day to me, and that's kind of what I do every day. So honestly, that's kind of how we do it.
Awesome.
A good day to me, dude, if I get to jam and then go skate afterward, that's always really good. I really want to take these dudes on a Midwest tour.
Really?
We're trying to figure that out and get everything together, but I really want to play Chicago, Ohio, and Detroit. And
People are doing it.
Yeah, most definitely. We just got to get the funds corrected.
Right.
But that would be an amazing couple days for me.
Right.
I can't just pick one. I got to have numerous good days.
And let me ask you, I know you talked about skating, and I've watched it on television. Okay, so you see somebody skating on television. Can you name all the moves that they're doing as they're doing them?
Every single one.
And how long did it take you to perfect that? Because I try and I'm like,
while.
I'm like, what is that? Is that a ollie? Is that a something else? Is that
I took skating the same way I played guitar because I started both at the same time.
right?
I know a lot more about skating than I do about playing music by any means. I just kind of fucking let it take hold of me. But it's the same thing with skating. Like anything that you're passionate about, you're going to go fucking head first into.
Right.
And all the way to the balls. If you're not going to do that, then what's the fucking point in doing it?
Balls out.
Yep.
All right. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I wish you great success in 2018. But before we go, I have 2 major questions. And the band Dead Canyon gave me these questions to ask you. So now, after I'm done and I hear the response, I need a question or 3 questions or however many for the next band.
Okay.
The first question, very simple, very basic. What is your favorite topping on pizza?
Just one?
You know what? I'll give
I got
you
a
a few.
combo. I'm a pizza boy. I have a pizza tattoo because I am a genuine pizza supporter.
Wow, go by it. Go big.
Make pizza great again.
Slice it up.
Pepperoni and mushrooms. That's all you need on a good
Pepperoni,
pizza,
mushrooms.
man.
All right.
I'm a pepperoni and sausage kind of dude.
Pepperoni, so keep it with the meat.
Mikey?
Yeah, I dig the sausage, but I like the mushroom sausage pepperoni combo. And if somebody can throw some basil on there, that's dope.
Yes.
Pizza is incredible.
Would you be like in for a margarita pizza?
I'll eat those, but I like my sauce too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I dig a margarita pizza. It's cool, but like fresh basil, regular sauce, mozzarella cheese, or whatever cheeses you want to throw on there, and then some of those other items. It's either cheese or the kitchen sink.
And what are your thoughts on Hawaiian?
I'll eat it.
I love a fucking Hawaiian pizza. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, those pizza elitists out there who like get that shit off of there. They just they need to experience more things in their lives.
I think I'd rather shotgun a beer through my pizza than eat pineapple on my pizza ever.
Okay, well we're divided on that. So.
All right. Well, agree to disagree, as they say. Now, one of the last question, and I'd be really interested. I can't wait to hear the response here. Have you ever had a finger in your ass?
Does mine count?
No.
Okay, then yeah.
All right. And pleasurable experience?
No comment.
No comment.
Chocolate?
It depends on if I'm getting a reach around or not, to be
Okay.
truthfully honest.
Like a rusty trombone or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm getting a
yeah.
rusty trombone, then yeah, it's cool. But like, if
Okay.
you're just gonna go fucking knuckle deep with a finger, it's no bueno.
What about if you're in the middle of a blumpkin and it's pouring out? Is that fair?
That's fair. She's just got to wash her hands if she's sleeping in the bed.
Okay. Well, wash your hands afterward.
Mikey, how do you feel about fingers in your bum?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want anything in there.
It's exit only.
Yeah, the exits feel great. I take big, healthy shits.
Oh, powerful.
I eat.
Are you eating? Are you eating organic cat food or? Yeah.
Okay, so I will admit, if you eat the cat food yourself, you do not get as great a shits as the cats get.
That's unfortunate. That really is.
It's all right.
You tried to hold it back.
I mean, we all get broke every once in a while, and sometimes we got to eat some of that cat chow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to have it healthy. Yeah. So, gentlemen, do you have any questions to ask the next band?
I got a pretty good one.
Okay.
There's a lot of different types of animations out there, and some people feel like some animation is better than other animation. But what I was wondering for the next band that you decide to interview on this great podcast that we've had a really good time doing so far is what's your favorite animated bird? Like, is it a toucan Sam? Are we talking like, the birds from like different types of bird movies?
Are we talking about those seagulls from fucking Little Mermaid?
We got the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes and stuff like that.
We got Heckle and Jekyll.
Well, you see, that's why I'm just curious to what they like.
Yeah,
Mike?
Tweety.
We got a throwback. Have you ever seen the movie Coonskin? There's some crows in that
right.
are pretty fucking savage and very jazzy.
Yeah, so that's a good question that we have for the next band.
Anime birds.
Anime birds are good ones, too.
I hope somebody doesn't come up with Big Bird, because that'll frustrate me.
It's not animated, so it doesn't.
I know.
I actually have a good one, because you said we're doing, what was the next band?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's see if they know
Any
it.
question for
All right, well,
Okay, what was the concept for the name of your band, and why didn't you choose the worst choice?
all right. All right, I like that.
Questions.
Essay question.
Because the worst choice could always fuck someone's head up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so Loserfur was the choice. What were the choices that didn't get accepted?
We didn't really. Yeah, it was always Loserfur. Yeah.
All right. And will you guys have? Do you have a question?
No, I'm just the newest member in the band, so I don't really have any say.
Okay.
Sorry, Mikey. Sorry, we fucking just nixed you out of that.
And what are your plans? Number one, on merchandise, and do you think that either this release or the next release might be coming out on vinyl, or are you not sure?
So it'd be nice, but we're probably going to do what we can for now, which probably includes cassettes and CDs and digital download.
Do all you guys have a lot of vinyl or no?
No, I don't collect it personally. I sold a bunch of mine a couple of years ago because I don't care, and as long as I can listen to the music, then that's cool with me.
I haven't started yet, but I'm thinking about getting some stuff.
Collection. I have a vinyl collection and I need money.
Do you have a NASM?
I don't have any awesome stuff. I got a bunch of other grind though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of limited release stuff. I got a bunch of Electric Wizard imports. Yeah, I've got some rarities, some good stuff, and then some good shit from back in the day. Bunch of 10 Years After records, some Wishbone Ash and shit. Yeah, that guy is a fucking shredder. That guy plays so goddamn fast. I grew up on that shit. Yeah, those guys rule.
What was the first part of that question you just asked? You said something else,
I think
too.
we had some ideas for like 7 inches and stuff, but nothing we've solidified as far as t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have T-shirts and we have patches coming out. We got
Good.
We might do some really fucked up shirts that when you wash them, they fucking dry weird. And then you can wear that to fucking work or whatever and probably have to turn it inside out like you're at fucking 7th grade.
They're going to be double-sided.
Dry them first and then you wash them.
If they're not dry when you wash it, then what are you
We're just not
doing?
going to tell them that. We just want the money so we can fucking pay off all this shit.
If you have any money, you can send it to loserfur.weed@gmail.com.
And is there anything else that they could send to you?
Just whatever you got, man.
Just bring it
Email
on.
me.
Yeah, it's like the weed. That's it.
That's the big thing.
But I mean, if we have a second to shout out some shit real quick.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, first off, Sewer Gap, our homies who we play a lot of our shows with, fucking Kenny G, Nick, and Carl. Those are our boys. Check out their band, especially if you're into skate punk stuff. The Early Grabs are also good friends of ours, and they're great guys.
Goya just came out with a new release. Fucking cop that. I'm pretty sure that's on vinyl.
It is. It's on Jeff's new record label as well.
Do you know how to put, what is it?
Opoponax, I
Opoponax,
think.
yeah.
I think Opoponax, I think.
Smell Like Rain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check him out. Goya's great. And then there's also Spirit Adrift, Jeff's other band with the dude from Gate Creeper. They're fucking killing it too.
I saw them both recently. Spirit Adrift.
So
Whoa.
good. They're so good.
Shout out to The Source. They just released their album not too long ago. They're fucking sick as fuck. I stumbled across that.
Just a general shout out to the Phoenix metal scene right now, because there's some people really doing it, and we're happy to be a part of what we get to do. You know,
Source record turned out really well.
the new one, yeah, it's really good. Twingiant just put out another record too.
Blood
They're really
Feud.
good. Yeah, it's really
Yep.
good.
These guys are awesome. Everyone in Phoenix, I mean, in this scene right now is fucking killing it.
Support your local metal people, man, because we go out to shows and we play a lot. It's fun to see people there, but I think Phoenix has a bad scene for people hating on their locals. So
Really?
from my experience, dude, people who've gotten more popular, people tend to not care. But you know what? We're all homies out here, man. I just want to see everybody do well, and I want to perpetuate the scene that we're in.
Agreed.
Dude, you guys hit us up. We're down to play shows.
We'll do anything you want.
That's the question. Not only the email, but how else can everybody reach you on social media?
We got an Instagram. It's just Loserfur _. Fuck, I'll give you my phone number. I don't give a fuck.
Loserfur and then an underscore?
Yeah.
Okay.
And an underscore. The photo for it, the like little circle photo. It was it was a photo of my dog's raging boner. He got his first nut when we first got him, and yeah, his whole
The pink lipstick came out?
the balls too came out with it, and that was like the background. But
Wow,
yeah,
that was...
it was pretty buck.
That was...
But,
what was he taking, like, Cialis or something?
No, my dog was around, and I have a great looking dog.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess that's the way it is.
We were trying to become family for real. We're already family, but let's make it a little closer.
Bring it together.
Yeah, for sure.
And keep the food organic.
Keep it organic. If there's anything I want people to know about Loserfur is that I feed my pets organic food. Don't think any differently. I do it, okay?
Organic basil on my pizza.
Yeah. Chocolate, what do you want organic?
Well, we know what he wants organic. Starts with a
That finger.
W, ends with a EED.
Yeah. I would really like my weed organic and hopefully from Oakland and called cat piss. It's really good.
Oh yeah, cat piss. You know about that shit?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I was gonna bring that up when the cat peed on his jacket, but all right.
Oakland.
Somebody else knows what cat piss.
That's ironic. It's almost like we just came full circle.
There's a strain called cat.
Now this is podcasting.
Wow. Gentlemen, this has been a journey and an honor. I am so honored to have talked with you all. I wish you a great 2018. Again, if you haven't seen these guys and you are in the Phoenix, Tempe, wherever else you're going to be area, follow them on social media. These are guys you want to catch up with. These are guys that you want to get the release when it comes out. And just start liking their stuff and start following them so you'll know what's up for the future in this style of music. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
So much, Chris.
Have the best day.
Thank you.
All right, that was the interview. I told you it went in a lot of different directions, but I thought it was just so much fun. We just had such a great time. So let's get into the music. This is Bat Ass by Loserfur. Check this out. badass. I thought that came out really, really great, and I'll be looking forward to when River Madness comes out. Until then, we have a little bit from Goya. And if you have not heard of Goya, where the hell have you been? Go check them out. Go follow them on all social media and buy some of their merch. I'm going to play a little something off of Harvester of Bong Loads. This is Disease. Wow, you guys are still here? That's awesome. All right. So next week we have Nikos from Twingiant. You know what? I'm not gonna start it off next week by saying this. How about this? Twingiant, all one word. Go follow them on social media. Go pick up their newest release, or at least listen to it and get a feel for it. Blood Feud. They got a lot of great stuff, a lot of great merch. You're going to hear some Panda stories and some black metal stories and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's all coming up next week with Nikos from Twingiant. Until then, I've been Chris. Take care. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Well, there's a quote that Dio told to Dave Mustaine one time, and it was, well, you know, we can jerk each other off all day, or we can smoke this joint.